Welcome to the Lead with Spark podcast, the show where real women lead with authenticity, show up with presence, and live out their purpose. I'm Lynsey Mulder, speaker, C-suite executive, family gal, travel junkie, and a firm believer that your leadership starts from within. Around here, we go beyond the fluff. We talk about the real stuff no one teaches you in leadership training. Your values, your superpower strengths, boundaries to stop burnout, and how to quit being the chaos coordinator of your own life. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, or just trying to stop feeling stuck in the daily grind, this is your space to get clear, get aligned, and finally lead with confidence. So let's cut the noise and reconnect with the spark that makes you, you. Let's go get our spark on. Welcome back to Lead with Spark. Ladies, I am super excited. I have something really special today for you, and it's a little bit different than we've ever done before. I am joined today by somebody that I deeply admire. Paula Shannon is here with us. She has become a fast friend, and we are doing something amazing that we are going to share with you on this episode. Paula she has spent years and years in senior leadership and as a C-suite executive. She has led organizations and thousands through crisis and change, and now she is working one-on-one with companies and leaders just like you. She's the founder of Whole Leader Lab, and this October, get ready, because she and I are doing something really, really big together. I can't wait. But Paula, thanks for coming. I'm super excited to announce this with you.
Lynsey, I'm so excited to be here. I've been waiting for this moment. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to dive in with the audience and let them know what we have designed. It's super exciting.
Yes. Oh, I can't even wait. So I'm going to tell you right now, drum roll. This October, Paula and I are co-leading the Audaciously Unapologetic retreat. We are going to Carefree, Arizona. Yes, that's what I said, Carefree, Arizona. And we are doing a wellness and growth and leadership retreat just for women like you. And so we're going to spend the next hour sharing this with you because this is something that everybody needs. We just don't take the time as women to invest in ourselves. And Paula, you and I, we both lived this experience.
We did. And speaking of our experiences, Lynsey, why don't we start with you? You were a C-suite executive at Fortune 100 companies. You were doing that while raising 4 boys, God bless, 4 boys and you're running at full speed. In our conversations, there was never a down moment. Tell us about the moment you realized that, being the person that everybody leans on, the glue, the person who held it all together, actually wasn't serving you.
Oh, and I think you asked me this, and probably everyone right now has that moment in their mind where they're like, I know exactly what it is. I actually have 2 of them. One, I'll never forget. I was standing in the hall, and one of my employees, who's a very dear friend of mine, looked at me, and she could tell right away that something was wrong. And I had actually gotten a call from a family member because I felt like I was holding my family together. My grandparents were aging, and they were one had moved on and already gone to heaven, and the other one was getting close. So I felt here like I was holding my family unit together. And then at work, we were going through some huge, massive changes. And so I couldn't be that person that didn't have all the answers. I needed to have all the balls in the air at the whole time. And I remember looking at her and saying, I think I've dropped a ball, but I'm juggling so fast, I don't even know which one it is. And I just broke down. And she, of course, pulled me into a conference room, and she's like, you got to pause. You got to breathe for a second. It's okay to not have all the answers, and you need that break. And that was kind of when I was in corporate world. And then actually it happened last year too. So I'm a business owner. You know, I'm the idea girl. I'm like, Paula, we should do this and do this. And I get all excited. And I get so many things going that all of a sudden then I'm like, whew, I have taken on too much. And now they're too far into it that I don't know how to stop. And so at the end of last year, I picked the word courageous going into 2026. And I picked that not because of jumping off of cliffs or skydiving or anything courageous from that perspective, but being courageous enough to do the right things to keep me healthy, courageous enough to put a plan in place and stick to it, which is actually how we met. because I said, I'm going to be courageous enough to invest in myself and pause and do something crazy. And so we actually went on a retreat in Cabo in March together, which was a women's leadership retreat. That was absolutely amazing. And so we said, all right, we're going to do something like this, but we have a much more stronger focus on the growth and the development aspect, where when we were there, we really got to invest in our wellness and ourselves,
Yeah.
which is just crazy. I love it. And I know you talk a lot, like, just about your story. And I really love the journey that you've been on. So maybe I know you well enough that I could probably repeat it, but why don't you tell our listeners, like, a little bit about you, like what you've done and what brought you right now to today?
Yeah. Well, I spent 30 years in public education. I never expected to do that. I never wanted to be a teacher. I have family members in teaching, and the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. I found myself graduating and not wanting to go to law school immediately. So I did this thing called Teach for America, landed in a classroom, and then spent many years in a classroom up through the C suite in a variety of different urban school districts. And I was in my last post as a deputy superintendent in Tulsa Public Schools, and one of our mentor coaches came in, and I prided myself on being the person who had the answers. I was known as the fixer. Or everybody came to me to know what to do next, right? So he looked at me one day, and he said, when you realize how to stop being a lifeguard and start being a swim coach, you'll be a much more powerful leader. And I sat with that. I said, oh, like, John, okay. And conceptually, it made sense, right? But I didn't apply it. So I kind of pondered that. And fast forward, it's COVID hits. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Navigating a school system of 40,000 kids, 7,000 employees, 3,000 of them are teachers, and trying to figure out what to do. Then bringing everybody back was even harder than being at the height of COVID, in my opinion. But through that, I started to recognize that in a crisis, being a lifeguard was great. But when you're out of the crisis, it's disempowering to your team. So I was in my own coaching, and I was going through an immunity to change process. We'll talk more about that later. And as I built my map of what I was resistant to, I started to realize that I was terrified of releasing control. I was terrified of being wrong. And I thought the system was going to collapse if I wasn't in there, like, making stuff happen. And my coach kept asking me these questions. I really started reflecting, and I started realizing that, yeah, I was a lifeguard. And it really hit home when I was sitting in my office. It was another 80-hour week, and there were people lined up outside my office waiting to talk to me. All of them bringing problems in that were their problems to solve. But they wanted me to hold accountability and responsibility.
Yeah.
And I started realizing that it wasn't them. I was the common denominator because I had trained them to be that way.
Yeah, so true.
So then I realized what it meant to actually climb down out of the lifeguard stand and to start coaching from the sideline and letting my people struggle and letting them fail and helping them, like, learn how to get their stroke back. Helping them start from the, like, shallower end of the pool before they went and dove off the diving board. So yeah, I learned how to do that. And by the time I left, I had empowered a group of senior leaders to actually state what they intended to do, hold responsibility for it, and be okay with having some missteps and learning along the way. I gained 40 hours a week back when I did that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I think about how, like, we were in two totally different places. We live in separate states. The whole thing is separate, and yet the stories remain the same. And that's why I think probably half the people listening right now are, like, raising their hand going, that's me. I'm in this
Yeah.
spot where I might have created the situation, or I'm in the situation and I'm not quite sure how to get out. Just
And,
like, oh, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, Lynsey, one of the things too that I started noticing is, like, that energy and that, like, mindset that I brought to my leadership, I brought into my personal life as well. And so, I was divorced, and a big part of that was I was working 80 hours a week. My first marriage, so to speak, was to my job, not to my ex-husband. And when I decided to leave the school system and to start my own business, a big part of that was I wanted to be audaciously unapologetic for
Yep.
my life and for my call. And I've been thinking a lot about that is, what was my call? And my call was to invest in people and to help people bring out their best. And I had to start doing that in my personal life too. And so my wife, Nicole, like, I mean, she has some clear boundaries around what she expects out of me, which have caused or have pushed me to say, okay, here's how I show up in my leadership. How am I showing up as a partner at home?
Yeah.
And so the same lessons that I learned in my leadership find a way of manifesting themselves in my personal life as well. And so many women I work with, they just don't have the space and the community to kind of work this stuff out and think about it. But it impacts us in our world. We can't separate personally what we're carrying from professionally how we're showing up.
Yeah, and that's so true because in the role that I was in, I was the only female executive. So it was extremely lonely. There was nobody that I could go to for advice or to even brainstorm or toss ideas around. It felt like it was all on me because if I admitted any of that, then I showed that sign of weakness that somebody could play on to show that I didn't qualify. And in the back of my mind, I kept that whisper. And so then you take that home and I have a task list at work, I have a task list at home, and I'm running through all of those. So even though I'm at home, I'm not present. And I think that's one of the primary reasons when you and I shared our story, we started talking about this and we started talking about all the people that we help. I mean, we both left those worlds because we felt like we had a purpose to really share what we had gone through and then share all of the things that we have learned since then, the whole structured process so that people could leave. So when you think about this retreat, like who should be attending?
Yeah. Women who are in big, powerful positions who, like you said, just feel lonely. I mean, one of the things I missed was having like a true community of women, not in my own organization, right? But people who were in a similar role that I was in, who were carrying a lot. And just to be able to talk things out, right? I was exhausted. So we know there are tons of women out there, they're exhausted because they're carrying so much. One of my terms that I've really tuned into lately is extraction. Like a lot of women in senior and C suite leadership are extracted from, right? More and more and more is taken without the value being paid back to these women, right? So having a community that you can say like, hey, this is what's happening to me. Have you experienced that? Like that is so important. I think also women who are just feeling like they're not playing big, like who recognize I'm like I'm minimizing myself, right? I know that I have a bigger voice, like a bigger part of me that I want to unleash in the world. And I'm tired of like apologizing for that. This retreat's for you, right? It is time. We're at a moment in history unlike any other. And AI is going to cause organizations to double down on the things that are already problematic. AI will be more efficient. AI will analyze like data like never before. AI will drive insights. But what AI will not do is help us be connected human beings who are playing into our better selves.
Yeah.
So if you're concerned about if you're concerned about, I don't want to be more productive, I don't want to be more efficient, I want to be more authentic, I want to connect and create more impact in the world, and I want to be a part of a community of badass women who like see that there is a different way to do this that is healthier and more impactful, this retreat's for you.
Yeah. I think about the ladies. So we struggle to invest in ourselves and struggled to say, nope, I'm going to take the time. And I'm telling you, this is going to be the best 3 days. And if you add a bonus a day, we've already negotiated that rate for you. If you add a bonus day, you're going to be spawing with me because I'm staying the extra day. But I think about just if you have thought for years I need a girlfriend trip, but I don't have anybody to go with. I need to pause and breathe. I feel like I have a bigger purpose and I need to figure out what that is. Or I'm feeling like right now I'm stuck and I don't even know which way to turn. You've put in the hard work, but you know that there's something bigger. This is what that retreat is for. And I know, there's a lot of people right now, they're like, oh, I wish I could. Well, here's reality. You can. It's a choice. Just like a lot of the things that we talk about on this podcast. If you want confidence, if you want to increase some of the skill sets that we've talked about aligning your core values, growing yourself so that you can take on that next role or that you can start something new, that's exactly what we're doing. This is a retreat that gives you both the wellness aspect, which I can't wait to talk about, and the growth aspect. It's going to be pretty fun. Hey, what would
And
you? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that's a particular thing. If you have that voice in your head who's like, and you feel guilty, oh, this isn't the right time. I can't. My family needs my job, blah 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 blah. The team, this and that. That was me for years. For years, I did not invest in myself, and here's what happened: I was diagnosed with clinical burnout at the end of my 30-year career in public ed. I was clinically burned out. Here's what it felt like. I was emotionally numb. I had no energy. I didn't have hobbies. I didn't play anymore. I was just flat. I cared because I was supposed to. The spark wasn't there anymore. So if you're playing that out in your head, I don't have time. I can't. No, like the guilt will be overwhelming because everybody needs me. This is your wake up call. Like, that exactly because you're thinking that is why you need
To
to
come.
press pause and come, because you deserve more.
Yeah.
You need to unleash it.
And you're really talking about we create these patterns in our life, these cycles and routines that then we struggle to get out of. So I think what I would want people to think about is what is not going costing you? What is the pattern that you have created costing you? Because this is an excellent way to refresh, start over, reframe, and create a pattern that's going to serve you.
I'm 2.5 years out of that role and being clinically burned out, and it has taken 2.5 years to recover from that. That was the cost to me of not saying yes to myself sooner.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, we got to do this. We got to take people inside because
Okay.
Paula and I, just for you to know, we did not build a typical program. This isn't a typical leadership program. You are going to have experiences that you have never experienced before, both a spa retreat, a wellness retreat, and the program all together, because we decided you shouldn't have to choose one or the other. You should get them at the same time. And so let's just talk about it. How about we talk about the location first? Let's do that.
Let's go. Let's dive in. So we're at this world-renowned resort called Savannah in Carefree, Arizona. Beautiful, beautiful desert-like background. Every day they're running all of these different wellness activities, everything from like sitting meditation to yoga to hikes to stargazing. Spa treatments, if you choose to do that, beautiful pools. It's gorgeous.
And it's
Healthy organic food.
I can't wait. It's October 15th to the 18th. So pause right now. Get your calendar out. October 15th to the 18th. It's 4 days, 3 nights. We have a cap on the amount of people that we're taking. So you do want to get in quickly. And it is every single day, we're going to try to get in at least 3 wellness activities. You might have the opportunity to do more. And then the learning piece. And you have pauses in between so that you can actually breathe. Because I'm telling you, there's heated swimming pools. We have taken care of everything. Everything is included in the price. Private dinners, private experiences. Okay, should we tell them about the one? I can't wait.
Yeah.
Which one are you most excited about?
I am super excited for the sound bath.
Because it is so cool. I can't wait.
I love a sound bath. Sound baths are amazing.
Okay, the first one that I went on, let's just tell them. The first one I was like, wait a minute, do I need a swimming suit? Or because I had no idea what sound bath meant. So maybe tell them what it is, because you and I are together.
So, the thing I love about sound baths is you have like a practitioner who really these individuals who do sound baths are healers, and they know how to combine a lot of different instruments to make different vibrating sounds in a very harmonic, balanced way. So you can literally feel the reverberation of sound through your body. So you lay down, it's very relaxing, and it's a truly like embodied experience. It's super cool.
Yes, it is gonna be amazing. And we have 3 private experiences like that scheduled. So we are keeping some of it a surprise, but as soon as you signed up, then you're gonna start to get nuggets of what we're doing. But we know that you're gonna arrive depleted, and we want you to leave completely recharged and ready to implement a lot of the skill sets that we're actually teaching you.
I would say I've been thinking a lot about this. We describe how it's going to help you have clarity, and it's going to help you have confidence and really build connection. And I think there's a theme running throughout in the way Lynsey and I are designing this, that like it's very healing, right? We carry wounds as leaders. And so the experience you have is going to help you begin to like really heal some of those wounds, particularly as we kind of take you in and help you start to identify what are some like big assumptions that are holding you back from the big commitment you have around a particular way that you want to grow and change. It's a very transformative experience. It's very healing.
Yeah. Even realigning, one of the things that we're going to do kind of early on is making sure that we're realigning your core compass. I mean, how many times do we talk about our values and our boundaries and holding those up to be truth? Because as we do that, we then can be the authentic person that we want to be. And people know right away when you're living in that, and you can feel it like you talked about in your body too.
Mhm.
You know when you're aligned to be able to do that. And that's how some of those frictions start to come out when we start to create our immunity map. Talk about the immunity map a little bit.
Yeah.
Might
I was
not
going
know
to
what
say,
that is.
this is where Lynsey and I balance each other out so well. So Lindsay's going to help you get real clarity on like, what are my values and what are those boundaries that matter to me? And like Lindsay just said, like we can say those things, but we're human beings. So there are real fears that drive why we don't honor our values, why we don't hold our boundaries. So that's where we're going to build immunity maps with you. And what that looks like is you'll get to a point where you say, yeah, here's this improvement goal or a commitment. We'll call it a commitment I have. So I've had some clients work on, I want to speak up confidently and say what I really want to say in meetings. That seems simple enough, but so many of us don't do it. So
Right.
what I help you do is say, okay, that's great, but you can't will yourself to do that. What do you do instead? What do you not do instead of that? And once we get there, we move to kind of the next part of the immunity map where I help you figure out like, what are the worries? If you did the exact opposite of what you do, what worry comes up?
What are the
And so what'll
fears?
start to happen is like, I am afraid of being wrong. Like I worry about, being perceived as incompetent. I'm incompetent. I'm like, super afraid of offending someone, right? So we map all these out and then I help you see how those are like hidden commitments that you hold. And that's eye opening. And then the big kind of moment is taking it a step further to figure out what's the big emergency brake that holds this all in place, right? That keeps the fear driving the actual behavior. And those are these big assumptions. And we all have them. Something happens to us. It's an experience. One experience, we take what happened as 100% certainty of what will happen every time. And our brain just gets wired that way. And so that's our window goes from like this to this. And those big assumptions tell us that this big catastrophic thing, for me, it was the whole system was going to crash and like the failure of 40,000 kids was going to be on me. Now, that is ridiculous when I say it out
I
loud, but that
know.
was driving
How you
every
feel.
decision I made, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it. So that when we create this full immunity map, it'll help you kind of pull this all together so you have a very clear picture of what's actually going on. And from there, like just building that awareness is eye opening and transformational. But will help you get there so that you can then like start to pick some of those big assumptions that you want to let go of, you want to burn, you want to like release them so that you can hit that commitment, right? And like actually become who you are destined to become.
Yeah. I want to hit on something because when I first thought about going to a retreat myself, I was like, wow, I am a powerful, bold woman. This is a sign of weakness. And I don't like all those sappy things. I'm not going to do all of that. And reality is, I went year after year after year in the same situation, and nothing was pulling me out of it because I couldn't get myself out of it. We actually have to take that break for our brain to be able to pause to do exactly what you just did. Because in our world right now, we have, what is it, 60 to 80,000 inputs coming at us every single day. And now it's even more. We all have decision fatigue. We have procrastination spinning in our worlds. We are taking care of so many things. And so even when we pause at home, you're still thinking about the laundry and the dishes and the dogs need walked and the kids need this and whatever. We still think about it. This allows you to actually get away, to not think about anything. And what I loved about when we went and we were sitting in a circle, we literally by about, it was a few hours in, and all of a sudden you kind of saw people, they'd sit back in their chairs. You could see the weight physically falling off of their shoulders. And one of the biggest things is because all of a sudden you're in a group of like-minded women. And we will never ask anyone to share anything they don't want to share. We have a lot of alone work that we're going to do. We do have some group work that we're going to do. But what happens is you start to realize, I don't have to do this alone. And so as people walk away, you're leaving with your own personal board of directors, a group of women that think like you do, that you now have in your world that you can bounce things off of, which is pretty darn amazing.
And Lynsey, I think one thing too that's like really cool about what we're creating is I've been in networks where everyone came from the same sector as me. And what I love about this is we're going to have like a really diverse group of women. And there's such a like beautiful gift in that, because I've learned so much from you because you come from a different place than me, a different sector.
Right.
And like, I mean, I share stuff with you that opens up a different perspective based upon the journey I've been on. We need more of that in the world today. And I think like, the ability to start to let our guards down and be a bit vulnerable is actually one of the most powerful things that strong women can do, because it helps us tap into wisdom that we have started to generate. And leadership today, I'm convinced, is less about effectiveness and productivity. That's such like a masculine view of leadership.
Oh, yeah.
It is very much about wisdom, discernment, executive judgment. And you get that when you're centered in yourself and you know yourself. You get that when like, you know what your fears are. And you're like working to like release them because you're courageous enough to test and do things a little bit differently. And when you have a community of women who are like holding you up as you do that, that is an incredible gift.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you that's been, even as a business owner, that is my biggest blessing, is my community of women that support me. When I feel like, I can't do this, or I don't have the right direction, I know that I can lean on these people. And that's what we want for everybody who comes. We want them to leave with that experience. I think some other cool things is, first of all, I told you we took care of everything. And I'm talking food, signature cocktails, amazing rooms. All of your experiences, everything's included, but we also have some special things before and after. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, once you enroll, you'll get a special like welcome gift from us. We'll stay in touch. And as we get about a month, 3 to 4 weeks out from the retreat, we will have a workshop together to get everyone grounded. So we'll have like a pre-retreat workshop. We'll do some work to begin to understand who we are, right? What our influence code is, so to speak. And that'll generate some good thinking and content for you to bring into the retreat. And then at the retreat, right, it's arrive Thursday evening, wonderful reception and some initial work on Thursday evening. You'll experience that sound bath to really just let go.
Are we doing the intention burning the first night? No, that's later. Oh, I can't.
That's later. That's later.
Okay.
That's later.
Okay.
That's going to follow like once we build the immunity map, right? So we're going to kind of change that up a little bit.
Okay.
So then we
Hear that, listeners.
yeah, just let go of that. Then we'll have like full days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be wrapping up that morning. We encourage you to stay longer if you can. Um, and then after, about a month after, we're going to have a integration call. So we'll come back together, check in on everyone, and just share experience and how people have been taking their commitments and their plan they developed from the retreat into the world.
Yeah, it is going to be amazing. I can't wait. As we started putting this together, first of all, we said, what would we have needed when we were in that situation? And then we work with a lot of powerful, amazing women who are doing amazing things right now. But what do they need right now? And that's where that clarity, confidence, and connection all bubbled up from. Okay, so we have some dates that we want you to know. First of all, I'm going to put the link in the show notes so that you can go out, you can read all about it. You can reach out to either of us if you've got some questions. And there's an application on there. So all you have to do is fill out the application, and then we are going to be getting back in touch with you. You have options though. You can come by yourself and you can meet all new people, which is exactly how Paula and I got together. We went by ourselves and met new people. Or you can bring a girlfriend and you can share a room. And that's just a whole different experience all in itself. So if you're sitting in the car right now thinking, ooh, do I want to go? And I'm nervous, call up your bestie and say, let's do this together, because Audaciously Unapologetic is meant just for you to come and experience, whether it's by yourself or with someone else. What matters is that you're there, because you're going to be doing the work to actually put it in place. As we walk through it, all of the details are going to be on the website. But again, if you've got anything that you want to know, we want you to reach out and be able to talk to us. So first of all, I am super excited to see who's going to raise their hand and come, because I already know. I mean, you and I both been praying about who's going to attend and who we're going to get to meet. So I already know God's going to put the right people in the room, which is super exciting. What do you want to say to the lady who's like, I think I want to come? What do you want to say to her?
Like, invest in you. Come, like, lock those dates in on your calendar, fill out the application. If you have questions, reach out to us, but put yourself first. I always, when I'm working with clients, and I used to do this with my teams, I would say, here's your first three priorities. Number one, you. Number two, your family. Number three, your career. So like, invest in you, put yourself first. Don't make this another excuse for something you can't do. Think about why it is so important to do it and how it is going to create more connection and community in your life, and give you a chance to just step back and let go and rest for a few days and really get centered and clear on the most powerful version of you. Like, bring that most powerful, purposeful version of you forward. This is your opportunity.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I'm just so excited. If I weren't putting this on, I would absolutely be coming. I want you to know too, we have already created some information for you to share if you would like your organization to pay for it. There's a lot of organizations out there that have leadership and development dollars set aside. And so if your company is one of those, we've got some information that you can download to be able to ask kind of for that permission slip to get away. Or if you're your own business owner, you can ask yourself for permission to get away. So I'm going to say it again, October 15th to the 18th, Savannah Wellness Resort and Spa in Carefree, Arizona. You're getting 2 coaches with a board of directors, circle of women just for you. 3 transformational days that are built all around clarity, confidence, and connection. So if you really are the person that everybody leans on, then this conversation and this retreat is just for you. I like to tell people, you're actually getting about 6 months worth of coaching in just this retreat, and then you get the whole spa and vacation as a bonus.
Absolutely. It's there was a younger version of me who would have a lot of excuses about, oh, I can't make this investment right now. And here's what I've learned. When I have put myself first and said yes to these experiences, the abundance that comes out of them is incredible. Not only do I grow, right, and become a better version of me, but I meet lifelong friends like Lynsey. I like see new business opportunities. And when I was running an organization, I always met individuals who became my go-tos, who would help me find new opportunities out in the world, or who would get me connected to the resources that I needed for whatever crisis I was solving at the time. So it really is like so abundant when you come to these things. And we want you at our Audaciously Unapologetic retreat in October. And we want to see you there. We want you to invest in you. We want to see more like powerful women unleashing their voice into the world and being incredible leaders who are driving impact to the world. So we want to see you there.
Yeah. Women who are ready to follow their purpose.
That's right.
Hey, Lead with Spark listeners, if you are ready to ignite your spark, if you're ready to lead with spark, if you are ready to take this on, please join us for this retreat. We have everything in the show notes. And of course, you can reach out to me anytime. And I'm going to have Paula's connection information in there as well. So you can reach out to her also. We can't wait to see you in October. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for being here and for doing the work to lead yourself first. If this episode sparked something for you, take a second to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another woman who's ready to own her leadership. And remember, the way you lead your life is the way you lead everything else. If you or your organization are looking for a speaker, an impactful workshop, or an executive coach, head over to lynseymoulder.com and let's connect. Keep showing up. Keep leading with spark. You got this. I'll see you next time.